Hello, all you junior rangers out there. Mrs. Salyer couldn't be here today, so Ranger Salyer is going to be your host today, along with my friend Petunia. Petunia, are you happy to be here? Oh, she's clapping. Petunia's a little bit shy. It's okay. They're friendly folks out there. So, welcome to today's episode of the Decimal of the Day show, hosted by your very own Ranger Salyer and Petunia. Now, this is the decimal that we're looking for and working with today. I know that all of you should have your math journal and paper pencil to follow along with me because you are junior rangers, and rangers do what they are expected and told to do. However, if you have forgotten it, please push pause and go get your paper and pencil or your math journal. Okay, now that you're back with us, what I'd like for you to do is to write this decimal number in both word and expanded form. Remember, you have to say it before you are able to write it. Go ahead and click pause, take care of that, come back and unpause, and we'll go over it. It's good to see you. Hey, you out there, put that pizza down. You can eat after schoolwork is over. Schoolwork is serious business. Get that food out of the way. You're supposed to be doing schoolwork right now. Remember, you're in the Ranger squad today. So, is there a whole number? Yes, and you would have said 9. So we're going to write down 9. And I know all my junior rangers out there know that the decimal point says what? A little bit louder. Can't hear you, a little bit louder. Yes, it does say and. Now we're going to have to find the first name of this decimal, which is just the number that you see, and it is 874. So that's what you should have written down. 9 and 874. And now you need the decimal's last name, and that's going to be the value of the last place value spot where the 4 is, and that is in the thousandths place. So this decimal number in word form is 9 and 874 thousandths. Now for expanded form. Hey, yes, I see you. Quit playing with that cat. We're doing schoolwork. This is serious business. You're a ranger. You can play with that cat after you get your schoolwork done. Okay, let's hop to it, rangers. Sit up straight, rangers. Get that pencil in your hand, rangers. None of this funny stuff. We're serious about our decimals here on the Decimal of the Day show. So, 9 is in the ones place. So we have 9 times 1 plus 8 is in the tenths place plus the 7 in the hundredths place plus the 4 in the 1000ths place. Now, I tell you what, if you were to show this problem to a bunch of 4th graders, they would just fall over smack dead right in their tracks because they think that looks too hard for them to ever understand it. But I know that all of you have realized decimals in expanded form, it's an easy thing to do. It's just that it looks hard. So if you want to astonish any 3rd or 4th grade friends, show them that's what we're doing. Now what I want you to do is I want you to take our decimal of the day, and I would like for you to add it with 13 and 2/10. So I'm going to ask you to pause the video with your paper pencil, take care of that, and when you come back, we'll go over the answer. Okay, thank you for working it out. Remember, there's one number 1 rule when you are adding and subtracting decimal numbers. The number 1 rule is that you line the decimal points up in a straight line column. You don't line the numbers up like you were taught when you were just working with whole numbers. With decimals, the decimal point has to be lined up. And that messes you up a lot of times. I know I have a friend over at Jefferson, great mathematical thinker, just a math genius. But that decimal's getting him because he's lining his numbers up and not his decimal points up. So make sure you're lining your decimal points up. So the way you would do this if you were writing it vertically, which you have to do, is the 13 goes over here. It's the whole number. The decimals are lined up. Here's your 2. But now I have 2 spaces with nothing there. So does anyone out there remember what we do? Yes, I hear one of my, I think it was one of my Jackson students who just said that you put in the zeros. And you are correct. Now you're going to tell it to shut up and come down so that it doesn't mess you up, and you're going to add as normal. 8 plus 2 is 10, 9 and 1 is 10, 13, and your answer is 23 and 74 thousandths. I want you to take this same decimal number, 9 and 874 thousandths, and what I would like for you to do is to subtract 3 and 95 hundredths. Okay. Once again, you have to be sure to write it vertically, and if you have a missing space, you're going to put in your 0. So go ahead, click pause, solve that problem for me, unpause, come back, and we'll check your answer. I hope when you started that you did not let those decimals say, nah, 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 I'm going to mess you up. I hope that you told them to just shut up and come down, like so. Then you went ahead and subtracted the problem as normal. 4 minus 0 is 4. 7 take away 5 is 2. 8 take away 9. I can't do that unless I'm working with negative numbers, and we're not doing that, so I'm going to have to regroup. 18 take away 9 is 9. And 8 take away 3 is 5. So your answer is 5 and 924 thousandths. Mrs. Salyer told me that all of you Rangers out there are really good mathematicians. She also told me that you were serious about your schoolwork, which means the pizza's out of the way, the Coca-Cola's out of the way, the cat's out of the way, the dog's out of the way, your little brothers and sisters that are getting on your nerves, they're out of the way, so you can do your mathematical thinking. With that in mind, I'm going to give you a challenge. We're going to do some multiplying with decimal numbers. That's something that you've never had before 5th grade. That's a new learning target for 5th grade. But I have faith in my Rangers. I know you're tough and that you can conquer this. So let me erase just a little bit. I'm thinking that I know when I multiply a number, the number is getting bigger, okay? So if I'm multiplying this by 10, my number is going to be bigger than 9. So that's already in my head. I may not know how to do it, but you always start with what you know. And you know that when you multiply, the number gets bigger. Okay? So you also know by this point in time that when you move over a place value, it gets bigger by 10. So this place value is 10 times more than this one. The 8 place value is 10 times more than that one. The 9 place value is 10 times more than that one. So every time you move to the left, your number gets bigger by 10. So if your digits are getting bigger, your decimals are going in the opposite direction. A 10 has 1 0. That means my decimal is going to go over 1 time so that the number is no longer 9, but it's going to be 98. Is 98 bigger than 9? Yes, it certainly is. In the next one, I have 2 zeros. That means my number's getting bigger by 2 place values, so my decimal is going to go over 1 place, 2 places. I need an answer that's more than 98. So now I have 987 and 4/10. Are you getting the hang to the pattern? If you get the patterning in your brain, it's really easy. I see 3 zeros. That means the decimal point's going over 3 places. 1, 2, 3. And my final answer is going to be 9,874. Is the number getting bigger each time? Yes, and it's getting bigger by 10. 10 times bigger, 100 times bigger, and 1,000 times bigger. I know this is new learning for you, but you're up for the challenge because you're a junior ranger, and I'm sure you're going to get these correct. Now what I want you to do is I want you to, on your paper, write down our decimal of the day 3 times. I want you to put your equal sign and your line, and we're going to be rounding to the nearest 10th, 100th, and ones place. Push pause and do that for me. Come back and we're going to go over your answers. Thank you for your hard work. Petunia said she'd like to come and help us with these. Okay, Petunia, come on out. Are you excited, Petunia? Oh, she's clapping her hands. Petunia, 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 Petunia! Calm down, good gracious. I know you're excited to be here. Okay, Petunia, I know that you are just really shy, so I'm going to have you whisper the answers to me. Petunia says you first have to identify the digit in the place value you're rounding. Okay, Petunia. So if I'm rounding to the tenths, the 8's in the tenths place. Petunia says underline the neighbor in the back, and remember that if it's 5 or more, raise the score. 4 or less, let it rest. This is 5 or more, which means that 8 can only do one of 2 things. It's either going to stay the same or raise up to the next number. Because this is 5 or more, it's going to raise up. You keep everything before, and everything after drops off. Petunia's a little bit happy about that. I think Petunia likes rounding. Oh, yes, you're just a nice skunk. Sweet skunk, Petunia. Okay, Petunia, we need your help with the next one. Are you up for that? Okay, Petunia. So, what digit is in the hundredths place? Petunia says it's the 7. Do you agree with her? Yes. So, you're going to underline the neighbor, and you're going to think about 4 or less, let it rest. That 7 can only do one of 2 things. It's either going to remain the same or it's going to raise up to the next number. Because this is 4 or less, Petunia says it's going to stay the same. And then everything after it is going to drop off, okay? What digit is in the ones place? Petunia says it's the 9. Okay, then I'm underlining the neighbor in the back, and I'm thinking 5 or more, raise the score. 4 or less, let it rest. That means this 9 can only do one of 2 things. It's either going to stay the same or it's going to raise up. Okay, Petunia, since this is an 8, what's it going to do? Okay, Petunia says it's going up. And that simply means that this decimal number is closer to 10 than it is to 9. I hope you got all those right. Now we're going to do our final one where we're comparing this decimal. Put in your circle when you write this problem down so that you can put your inequality symbol, which is less than, greater than, or equal to. All right, you Rangers out there. I know that you know the procedure that I have taught you for comparing these decimals. I'm going to listen. Oh my goodness, all those Johnson kids out there are shouting it out. They're telling me to line them up vertically. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to write 9 and 9/10. And then I'm going to write 9 and 874 thousandths. I can put my zeros in. Okay. Does that tell me anything? Nope. I'm hearing somebody from Lincoln. Somebody from Lincoln says the value's the same, and they are correct. Oh, but when I get right here, which is more, 9 or 8? The 9 is more. So even if this number initially did not have as many digits, it's still the greater number. And remember, the alligator eats the bigger number. A mistake that a lot of Rangers make is they look at this, and they look over here. They don't know any better. They say, that one has more numbers, so it's got to be more. No, 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 no. In decimals, it doesn't work that way. And we would read this as 9 and 9/10 is greater than 9 and 874 thousandths. I really enjoyed being your host here on today's episode of the Decimal of the Day. Petunia also enjoyed being here. However, we have to get back out to our ranger duties and make sure that everyone in the parks are staying safe, following social distancing, and of course, wearing their mask. I hope Miss Salyer goes away again and lets me, Ranger Salyer, come back with all you junior rangers out there. Now, junior rangers, you're a tough bunch. Sit up straight and tall, get off of that bed and quit rolling around. Get in there with your computer and get the rest of your literacy and math work done for today. Don't forget that you also are expected to do science and social studies, however your teacher has assigned it. And here is a hidden message for you today. Hidden message alert. If you send a smiley face to your teacher, you are going to get an extra credit grade of 100 added to your math. So what you can do is you can either write the word smiley face. You can email it. If your teacher has Dojo or Blooms or something like that, you can send a message. You can send it on Canvas. If you're really creative and you can figure out how to do a smiley face clip art and import that in, you can send that. Or you could always use the colon. That's the 2 dots on your computer. That looks like this. And you can use the back side of the parenthesis that looks like that. And it's really a sideways smiley face. So, if we get your smiley face that you have watched this video Decimal of the Day show episode, you will win, dun, 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 drum roll, an extra grade of 100 added to your math, just to thank you for participating and watching our videos. Have a great day. Stand up and hut to all you Rangers out there.